Queensland is awash. After Cyclone Tasha dumped hundreds of millimetres on the far north, the big wet has drifted south. It's flooding in central Queensland and around Brisbane. Heavy rain has pounded already saturated ground for much of the day. The Bruce Highway is cut in several places south of Townsville, and while the road west from Rockhampton is also closed. And despite the warnings to stay out of flood waters, authorities again had to rescue a young man from a raging creek. This time in Rockhampton.
In pitch black just after midnight, a young man clings to a tree for his life. The 18-year-old had been wading through Rockhampton's swollen Moores Creek with two friends when he was swept downstream. The water was so strong, even experienced swiftwater rescue crews struggled. Half an hour later, they pulled him to safety. Alive but suffering hypothermia, he was embraced by worried family and friends.
He was extremely lucky. He was in a precarious place. He was very cold, shivering. The tree he was on was paper bark and wet, so it was quite slippery.
Many Rockhampton residents had a sleepless night, while some were testing out new Christmas presents. Others were counting the cost of the clean-up.
Just hope it doesn't get any worse.
Rachel Fairman discovered her house was flooded when she was woken by police late last night. She moved in only 11 days ago.
Oh, there'll be kids' toys and electrical toys under the bed. This couch doesn't belong to me and it's soaking wet. And the pool. The pool's going to be the worst thing.
Today, the Capricorn Highway was cut at Duringa, west of Rockhampton, and vacant houses at Gracemere were completely flooded. Further north, Cyclone Tasha's legacy continues. The Bruce Highway was again cut at Ingham and south of Townsville between Garoo and Home Hill. Some motorists have abandoned their cars, and authorities are repeating warnings for drivers to be prepared.
Carry some water, some food, extra clothing and even bedding with them in case they do become stranded for 24 hours or so.
A group of bushwalkers who weathered Cyclone Tasha crossing the coast on Hinchinbrook Island were found this morning by a rescue helicopter. The tourists happy to be back on the mainland. And in the south, a band of low pressure has kept river levels rising too. Floodwaters have isolated the town of Theodore, west of Bundaberg, with several homes threatened with inundation. But the worst is yet to come for the state's centre and south.
We are expecting possibly 300 to 500 millimetres over the course of the next 4 days. So it's basically as a result of this monsoon trough becoming stationary.
So again, it's a matter of a very close watching brief, the local disaster groups taking advice on whether any action needs to be taken in terms of local residents.
And it's not over in the north either. The Weather Bureau says it'll know by Tuesday if a low in the Gulf of Carpentaria will be the season's second cyclone. Imogen, Brennan, ABC News.